Dusty, snap out of it!
Any of this look familiar?
Our constellation contact is on approach.
Yeah, but come on. Exploring space? Who does that anymore? Ain't the space we've already got complicated enough?
Welcome aboard the Starfield Report podcast.
Welcome back, Captains, to another episode of the Starfield Report podcast. I'm your host, Kenneth Smyson, Kenny Smyson, and with me, as always, is Jax Wiley. How you doing, Jax?
Doing great. Good morning, Captains.
And with us, we are going to have let's say we're having half of a Starfield Sandwich. We've got Sawyer joining us. Welcome, Sawyer.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Yeah, good to have you.
Great to have you here with us this morning.
It's always good to talk Starfield with other people, and I love you, Jax, but I don't know. Sometimes it's good to hear other thoughts. I'm sure you probably get 10% bored of me sometimes too. So we're going to hop right into it. Sawyer's been kind of briefed on where we're at in our little series here, doing our Shattered Space DLC walkthrough.
Yeah, I've been keeping up with you guys. I've listened to your podcast too. So
yeah, well, I finally started going back and listening to some of your old ones because a few, which let's see, you guys have about 15 or so, a little more, I think. Something like that. Yeah. So I've been listening to some of your old ones just to kind of follow your journey in the Starfield, so to speak. But you guys had that one episode last, or was it earlier this month? Yeah, earlier this month, you guys. That's I think when it came out.
So normally we've had a couple other guests on, and normally what we do is we give our guest an opportunity to kind of give us their background and what led you to Starfield. Is it like, are you a Bethesda guy, or is it space games and that attracted you, or just give us a little heads up of who you are and how you got here?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely a Bethesda fan. Oblivion was my first Bethesda game, and I've been a fan ever since. And I like space games too. Like I love the Star Wars games, Mass Effect, that sort of thing. So it's kind of both. Starfield specifically, though, I didn't think originally that I was going to be able to play it because I was playing on an Xbox One S, and playing through the cloud is kind of a hit and miss. So like I kind of intentionally kept myself from getting hyped about it because I didn't expect to be able to play it. Why get hyped about something that you can't play? That just seems masochistic. So when I finally decided, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna upgrade my Xbox. That's when I started allowing myself to get hyped. So I was talking to a mutual friend of ours, Jessica Starr, and it's like, I think I'm finally, I'm actually gonna be able to play. And so I want to talk about this. And she directed me to some other people in the Starfield community. There was a Discord, and we were all talking about it, getting ourselves hyped, and I was like, okay, I've got to talk about this. So that's when I decided to start Starfield Sandwich as well. So I, was talking to my co-host with Tapes from the Waste, KDB, Kelsey, and I was like, hey, what? I want to start Starfield podcast. And he was like, yeah, good luck with that. And he's like, yeah, who am I kidding? Yeah, sure, let's do it. So, and then I did upgrade my Xbox. So, I got the deluxe edition of Starfield so I could play in early access, and, the rest is history.
Yep.
So
nice.
Very, very similar. When the Xbox Series X were so hard to get, right? I was like on an alert chat that would say, hey, Best Buy just posted 15, Xboxes. So you'd run over and try to, right? So I'm at work feverishly trying to get my Xbox, and I finally get one reserved for me at Best Buy. And this was, I guess it was for Starfield. Yeah. And of course, Starfield wasn't out yet, but in anticipation, like you, I was like, okay, I want to play this game, and I'm not going to be able to do it with what I got. So, and then same thing with me and Kenny. We were talking online one night about how, I don't remember exactly, Kenny, but it was very similar where it was like, yeah, maybe a podcast might be fun. Yeah, that might be fun. And it was like, okay, well, let's just host one together.
Yep.
That's why a lot of podcasts get started, is because you want to talk about something, and a lot of the times, like, people that you know in person, or it's like, that's great. Yeah, go ahead, have fun with that. So
Right.
it's, like, it's kind of a way to where you can like talk about this sort of thing, share your ideas, and who else are you going to talk to?
Yep.
Pretty tired of listening to me talk about Starfield, so with
Well,
the same interest.
Yeah. And then once you kind of realize, we're always talking about it, so we might as well record ourselves talking about it. And then, because that's how it started. We were probably having phone calls or Discord chats for close to a month before we were like, well, let's just do this as a podcast.
Yeah.
So
exactly. Yeah.
now, see, I play on PC, of course, and so when the game first came out, I looked at my specs and I thought I would be able to play it basically on low. And when I started playing the game, my frame rate was awesome because I've got a really good processor, but my graphics card, it looked like a water painting. It was so I had this smooth frame rate, but it reminded me of, do you remember in Oblivion, that quest where you go inside the painting?
Yeah.
Then you fight the trolls or whatever, that little side quest. That's what it reminded me of when I started playing. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't. So I suffered through it for the first week or so, just kind of not doing any quests, not getting too crazy, because I ordered my graphics card online, which ended up coming with a free copy of Starfield. So I then gave it to a friend who didn't play the game for much. So now I'm like, I would have rather have given it to somebody in the community. I get on my friends sometimes. I'm like, dude, you don't even play anymore. That was free.
Yeah, kind of use it as a listener gift. Hey, you guys post up some pictures of your ships, and we'll pick the best one and give them a free copy of Starfield. But I guess at that point they're already playing, so that doesn't make any sense.
Yep. So
yeah, well, and it is nice that they've got the play anywhere thing, so it's like you can play your saved game from console on PC, which I tried, and I don't know, I guess my computer just wasn't quite good enough. Like, it looked like it was going to work, and just didn't. I wonder if that's changed now that I think it was recently like re-optimized. I wonder if it'll work now.
Yeah.
So are you like streaming the game when you play it that way?
No, I mean, I have, I can't, I haven't tried playing on PC in a long time, but I have streamed it, because I do stream on Twitch, but.
Or does it like sync your save from your console to your PC? Because like you're accessing it from the cloud?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the Play Anywhere thing that they did. I don't know exactly how it works, but if you play through Game Pass, I don't think it works with Steam, but if you play through Game Pass on PC, it should sync everything.
Okay, that's a pretty sweet feature because like if you travel for work and you've got like a good gaming PC, so you don't want to mess around with. I live in Northern California, and there was a period of about 3 months back when I was heavy into Fallout 76. I was working for a bus company at the gold mines in Nevada, northern Nevada. So there's towns. There's Winnemucca and Elko. Those are the two main towns. Or Battle Mountain as well. I would go out there for 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks at a time. So I would tear down my entire computer, take it out to the hotel room, set it up. That way I could still do my recordings and play 76 and everything. But man, that was quite the chore to tear down my PC and reset it up.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
I ended up buying all the extra cables and stuff, so that way I didn't have to mess around with that. But my monitor, so it was my monitor and tower, and then I eventually did get a cheap keyboard and mouse just to pull it off. So ended up being a little easier having the accessories and peripherals. But yeah, that Play Anywhere feature, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. A few people who use it.
Yeah, Jackson and I both kind of got into Bethesda fandom around the same time. He was Morrowind, I was Oblivion. Oh, and you said you were Oblivion too, right?
Yeah, I was Oblivion.
Okay.
I did try, like, Morrowind took a couple tries to hook me, because I'm like, okay, why am I swinging my sword at this worm at point blank range in front of me and missing? But once I understood the mechanics and everything, I really loved it. And I even play like Oblivion and Daggerfall too. So,
okay.
But yeah, Oblivion was my entry point. I was living with a couple of guys in an apartment, and one of them had a 360. He's like, "Yeah, sure. I only play Tiger Woods. You can play whatever you want." So I was looking through his games, and he had Hitman Blood Money, and I beat the tutorial, and that was it. Like, okay, that was fun. What else you got? And he had Oblivion, and started playing it, and ended up getting it for myself on PC, and never put it down. So I'd never played a world like that before, that you can just basically go and do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Now there's consequences if you're evil, but yeah, it's just
like the last
immediately hooked
RPG I had played prior to that, I'm pretty sure was the original Zelda on NES, because
and that doesn't tell you anything. It was just like, hey, here you go.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because the 2000s for me, I was all about Call of Duty and Halo. Those were my main games, and on console, and then on PC, I played Command and Conquer games, Generals, and whatnot. I was in the GameStop looking through the magazine. I just pre-ordered something, and I was just looking to see, and I saw there was the magazine where they were showcasing Oblivion. And I was like, oh wow, that's a pretty looking game. The guy was like, yeah, you can walk right up to the top of that mountain over there, and it's like a character is standing there, and the mountain's like way in the distance. I'm like, what? And the concept of open world, I didn't even really know what it was yet, and so he explained it to me and showed me the map, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So pre-ordered the game, and the rest is history. And it's gotten to the point now that I'm married with a kid, and another kid on the way, actually due next week.
Wow.
Yeah, thanks. It's like, for better or worse, till death do us part, Bethesda's my gaming company at this point. Unless they completely buy the farm, I'm going to be exclusive to their games, just because I only have so much time to play. And thankfully, it's a game that if I don't play for 3 weeks, I can come back and look at my quest log to remember where I was at and keep on going. So
yeah, and you were talking about the way you tried to play Morrowind for a little bit and didn't hook you as well. And I was watching a YouTube video just the other day on the graduation of the creation engine, and Morrowind wasn't even the creation engine. It was
it was different.
I think it was a company called Cambrio, and they had a license to use the Cambrio engine and then tweak it the way they wanted. Their first iteration in Morrowind, there was no all of the assets, like the cups and the plates and the food, were all static objects. If it was set up for you to use it, you could walk up and option drink or option eat, right? Or take. But you couldn't swing your sword at it and knock stuff off. So it wasn't until Oblivion that they had pretty much gutted the Cambrio engine and put in all of their own script to have physics and ragdoll effects and world objects that were placeable. The reason they went with the Cambrio engine to begin with was because of persistent placement. You could drop a sword in one town, wander off for a week, come back, and that sword is still sitting there. And they liked that. that. That was the one big catch for Bethesda. They were like, we want that in our game. We want an open world where we can wander around and stuff is real. It makes the game feel real. If stuff
the
doesn't,
console commands are completely different in Morrowind as well.
What's
But I
that?
do also like the fact, like, there's so much more variety with Morrowind as far as like spells, weapons, armor. It's just, and you can train more than 5 times per level too with characters who can train you as long as their level is high enough to train you as something you can. As long as you got the money, you can just keep on training.
Mm-hmm.
So that way you can get your skills up and can hit that Kwama grub in front of you.
Right. Yeah.
And spells won't fail and enchantments won't fail, so you lose your weapon or anything if it fails.
Everything's a percentage roll on the back end.
Yeah. It's like an actual like RPG.
Yeah. Right. Even at a 99% chance, you've got the 1% chance you miss. And it's a 1% every time. Or 15%, but yeah, you get the point.
I remember, was it that first one of the early fighters or mages guilds where you have to go to that crypt, and it's like, yeah, it's just it's by this town, down the road, and turn right here. And it's like, but there's no like quest markers or anything. It's like, okay, it took me forever to find that too.
That's correct. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. All right. Well, Solier, we're so glad you're here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Let's get into our quest this morning. Kenny, where are we at, buddy?
All right. So we were talking before we started recording. You start the Aligning the Houses quest, and there's the 3 houses, and you have to do a favor for them all to come together and help you with the finale. There's a side, so the three of those quests are Exhuming the Past, Conflict and Conviction, and Zealous Overreach. And there's a side quest called The Other Side, which is connected to Exhuming the Past. Now, I thought you could do these in any particular order, and I just happened to do Zealous Overreach first because it was the closest one to me once I reached the point I could do it. And I think it locks you into a certain process or sequence of doing them once you pick the first one, because once I finished Zealous Overreach, I intended to do Conflict and Conviction, so that way we do these 2 in an episode, and then we would do Exhuming the Past and The Other Side quest as a separate episode. But it shoehorned me from Zealous Overreach straight into The Other Side. I couldn't even find Exhuming the Past or Conflict and Conviction. So it's a side quest supposedly, but it forced me to do it. So today we're going to cover Zealous Overreach and The Other Side. Now, for context, I've not even done the Shattered Space DLC, so Sawyer, please no major spoilers on later events of the quest line. And I still haven't even done the Ryusian quest line, if you can believe it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because when we started the podcast, I was like, you know what, I should save doing big quest lines until we get there in the podcast, because we're going to go through all the main quest lines here in the podcast for, and so I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I've got a brand new character. She's an assassin. So looking forward to that. But yeah, let's start with Zealous Overreach. And this is the one where you help House, is it pronounced Kadek? Kadek? Kadek. Yeah, they all have very unique names.
Right.
And so in this quest, the short version of it is you come across, the Ramza, is that her name? Yeah, Razma. So she's the leader of the house, and you find out in short order that House Kadik has been working with the Varun Zealots. Of course, we've experienced them for quite a long time, being, is that any of our contact with somebody from Varun, for the most part, has just been the Zealots. I think there's a couple quests where you come across, you interact with somebody from Varun. I mean, aside from Andreja. And so, for the most part, your experience of House Varun is that these are just crazy Zealot people. But then you, of course, discover that the Zealots are wanting to continue this holy war, and so even House Faroon and the Zealots don't like each other. But in this case, Rosma has decided to work with the Zealots on the side
to try to build power in the council.
Yeah,
if she can gain enough power, then she can become the leader of Dazra.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Mainly.
Yeah.
So there's kind of a three-way battle between these three houses of who has the power to be in control.
Yeah.
And it's a constant balancing act. And so this is one of her power plays by using the Zealots to try to gain a little more leverage over the council.
Yep.
So that's the reason she's doing it. None of us agree with it.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
security agent is like, yeah, just go kill them all.
Yep. And then unfortunately, I mean, it backfired on her, although you could say that's more inevitably, because when the Citadel incident happened and Anasko, the leader of the Varun, disappeared, they took the Zealots took that opportunity because they want to have more influence, and they kidnapped the scientist.
Zahima?
Shima.
Yep.
Zahima.
Yeah.
Zahima.
Yep. And so Rosma wants you to rescue her from the Zealots. And then as you're heading out to do that, after you finish your conversation with Rosma, you find out the other Djimal, Djimal. I don't know how to pronounce that name, but she wants you to just get the evidence or the scientific data that you need from the scientist, but go ahead and kill the scientist or just don't rescue him. And because then she doesn't want all this shenanigans with the Zealots to be exposed to the council. So for a side quest, I'm pretty impressed with how many options and ways you can actually end this quest or go through it. And it's not too long. It's pretty straightforward. Once you finish this initial conversation, you go to the Zealot space, which conveniently is about just down the block from Dazra. It's like the Zealots are like right next to your main city, guys.
Yeah.
And
the mob in the warehouse next to the police station.
Yeah. And as you're going through this, it's pretty straightforward action pack. You just kind of navigate your way through a dungeon of sorts, right? And there are some pretty powerful Zealots that are like hyped up on. They got to be hyped up on some kind of drug or something. Again,
if you're using the Darkstar mod, everybody's jumped up on something.
True. Well, so when you're doing Darkstar mod plus these Zealots, these fanatical Zealots, it's like you're fighting Florida Man.
Florida Man, yeah.
Yep.
He's got the plot armor on somehow.
Yep. Yeah, so those guys were pretty challenging. I definitely had to hide behind Andreja a couple of times, but thankfully most of this battle or this fighting, you're in hallways and a lot of tunnels, so there's some choke points. So I totally meat shielded Andreja out in front of me, and because when she goes down, sometimes she blocks your NPC, your follower. If they go down, sometimes they block your enemies from charging at you, especially melee ones. Oh. And so, yep. Now, did you guys save the scientist, or did you let her die? Okay, so we all have a heart.
But then it asks you to go and rescue. She's like, well, I got to stay here and tweak some stuff and set this place self-destruct. Go rescue all my buddies.
Yep.
Yeah, she stays until you do that. So.
And both times I've been through this, I get three refugees saved. And in about 5 minutes, boom, 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 save him.
Yeah.
But then it's still telling me there's a blue dot floating in the middle of the air, and it says you still need to rescue the hostages. And I'm looking, and I search the entire base 2 or 3 times over before I finally find the last guy cowering in some corners somewhere behind a box or something. I'm like, there he is, finally. But there's always both times I've done this, there's the one guy, and I don't know if you guys had that problem or not, or me and I overlooked.
I don't remember that now.
Find the guy twice.
Do you think he may have gone into the room where he was and killed his guards and didn't realize he was there, and then he maybe stood up and ran off and hid?
I don't know. I don't know what happened.
I'm just spitballing an idea of what could have happened because I didn't have that issue at all. As soon as she sent me out to rescue the other, it led me straight to them. I killed their guards.
Like upstairs and behind a gym area, like a workout room, and there's one guy back there. There's a couple in a cage, and one more somewhere else. And then there was another one, and I couldn't find the last one, but I finally did. But I just remember halfway through looking for this guy for a long time. I'm like, I had the same problem last time I played through this.
Yeah, that's a trip. I
wonder
wish
if there's like something interfering with it a bit, like I don't know, like another mod or something.
It's probably just me overlooking it, thinking that I'm looking at every corner and missing a doorway that's kind of angled a little different, so maybe you don't see the door and you just walk right by it.
Yeah,
that's probably what I'm doing. I'm just like,
Well, do you hit sense star stuff to find?
It's probably how I ended up doing it. After I got fed up and went, okay, where is this guy?
Yeah, that's I hit that power a lot. Just whenever I go into a dungeon, I just want to see where everybody is, where the clusters of guys are, and because what's more important with Dark Star, because you fire off a gun in an internal area, almost everybody knows, and sometimes they will all come to you and not just wait in their little spot, being like, "Oh, there must be something out there."
Right. Yeah, you look at your little compass, and suddenly there's like 8 red dots all the way around you. You're like, uh-oh. Could be in trouble here. So so I got so after that, you rescue all the guys, right?
Yep. I think this is the point in which the scientist will give you the data, and then like I told her to go meet us somewhere, and she was basically like, pound sand. I'll get there when I get there. I told her I need you to go right now, and she's like, well, she'll get there when she gets there. I think this is the point where you could kill them all off to bury the evidence.
Yeah.
If you're a heartless bastard. So I wonder what it looks like when you play this whole quest through, this mission through, and keep it secret.
Either of you guys gain access to the lower level?
What do you mean, lower level?
I'm reading through the quest log here, and it says, now that Shima is dead, I should search her body for her research slate that contains her algorithm. And then it says, when trying to access the lower level, the door was locked. I need to find another way in to gain access to the lower level. Now that I have Shima's algorithm, I can get into the lower levels. So that's what you were saying, that I guess if you killed her, then you take her slate, you get access to the lower levels, and you want to go kill everybody down there, so that there's no witnesses, like you said. But I didn't even know there was a lower level to go to, because I didn't kill him.
Didn't either.
So I guess all of us kind of skipped right over that part. So
yeah, I didn't kill Sahima, so...
Well, I just found a little poll, at least according to IGN. What fate did Sahima receive? I killed Sahima, or I talked to Sahima? 84% talked to him, which means 15% of the players killed Sahima.
Yeah. So we know who the psychopaths are.
Yep. But yeah, I didn't know there was a lower level either. That's a trip.
So I guess we're to the point where I've let Sahima finish the settings up the remote device, and she tells me to go free the hostages. Found the hostages. I should speak to them and let them know the plan. Yep, the plan is, let's get the hell out of here. So it says you got to clear the cave beyond them to make it safe for them to follow you through. So I guess there's vortex horrors and stuff. I guess we got to go through those. Is this where there's like a vortex horror behind a cage door, and one drops down on you from above, or you could shoot him from above and get up and get over?
I don't recall any horrors on this one.
That might be in a different location.
Yeah, I think that was different.
Okay. because I've already done all 3 of the houses. I didn't realize that we were stopping, so I played a lot. I read ahead a little bit. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, because once
I
you
think I do remember that quest though. Basically, you go into the cave to talk to someone, and it's filled with vortex source. I think I know what you're talking about.
oh yeah, that's the
Yeah.
next quest we'll talk about here in a minute. That's the other side one. But
Yep. Okay.
yeah,
So we get out of here
Yep.
and we meet up with all of the hostages and Saima. We all meet outdoors, and we're supposed to go back and talk with the leader of the house, right?
Yep, Rosma it's the negotiations between Rosma and the Zealots.
Super secret royal rendezvous, right?
Yep. Well, because the Zealots at this point, they don't realize the hostages are in the process of being rescued by us, and so they're meeting with Rosma, and she's stalling. So you show up, and this is the first time I think you actually talk to a Zealot where they're actually having a conversation. So how'd you guys handle this situation?
Go ahead, Celior.
Let's see. So I honestly, I haven't played through this quest since not long after it came out. So,
Okay.
I don't quite remember. I mean, I wasn't pro zealot, so
Right. The zealot is like, well, I've got I'm playing well. I got all the cards here. I'm going to be able to run this show. And then you show up and you're like, not so fast. I don't think you've got all the cards you think you do.
yeah.
And then he says, oh, well, you're bluffing. And that's the point you get to make the decision. You can persuade him, you can attack him, or what is it, do nothing or exit the conversation. So at that point, I'm just like, well, I'm going to just take this guy out. Or no, I think there's another option where you continue to try to play along with the narrative. But at some point, he gets mad and he's like, okay, well, I'm going to draw down on you. And that's when you go into combat. So I tried it 3 times. And the first 2 times, I get 2 of the guys killed. And with it being set on extreme, I get a headshot and I'm dead. Twice. So finally, the 3rd time, I use the warp time skill. As soon as I come out of combat, warp time, freeze everybody. Whoop. That's how I handled the situation.
I imagine I try the persuasion method because I usually try that if I can.
I had so I've been playing through this quest with Andreja because I married her in my first universe and then remarried her in this my quote unquote final universe. I was kind of always emotionally cold to all the Andrejas that I came across in the other universes in between. But this one I decided to kind of like remarry her, partly just to see the mechanics of that dynamic of marrying an Andreja that's not your original Andreja. The game kind of, in general, the game kind of glances over that. There's a brief conversation you have with her about it, and then she just moves on and does it.
It glosses
again.
over it.
Yeah. So having her with in all of this Shattered Space DLC stuff is cool because she does provide some commentary, and just as you're walking around, she'll say things. In dialogue, you have the option to let her say something. And I'm trying to remember if I let her say anything or if I went straight to shooting. Regardless of which option it was, the end result was the same. I killed all the zealots in that room, dropped all 3 of those guys.
Yeah,
pretty straightforward. But it's I'll get into that in a little bit. Yeah, so you kill the zealots, and at that point, I think you can tell Rosma that you're gonna expose because she's trying to get you to not talk about the zealot stuff with the council.
Yeah,
and I told her. I'm going to, at some point in this quest, I told her, like, hey, I'm going to tell them what you're doing is not cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, at this point, my character's, I would have preferred not to become a Varun, if I had the choice.
You don't really have a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, so then I had to kind of, because I enjoy the role play of it, I had to, like, find a reason. And it makes sense that if my character was raised universal, that, or wait, was it the one that believes in a higher power? I can't remember which one that. Yeah, universal, because enlightened is like kind of the non-deity faith they have, and universal is the one where they believe in religion. It would make sense that maybe I would transition into being a follower of Varun because of wanting to follow a specific deity.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm like ingraining myself into this Varun culture, and but also bringing my moral compass into it from the life I lived through multiple universes, and so yeah, so I'm definitely going to expose them. I don't think I've had the chance yet. I imagine that might happen once you do all 3 quests. Maybe you go back to talk to them.
I'm not sure. But it, like you were saying though, instead of just them accepting you as, an honored guest that the Great Serpent has sent, they want to make sure that you convert. Which, what does that do for the rest of your gameplay now at this point?
Yeah.
When you leave, now you leave as a Varun follower of the Great Serpent.
Yeah.
That's how I wanted to. I mean, if I wanted to play that, I could have started the game as a follower of the Serpent.
Yeah.
Right? So basically, they forced you, if you want to play this DLC, they forced you to change religions.
Yeah.
And it's like, don't know that I like being shoehorned that way in a video game. It sits wrong with me. I can play through it. I can go, okay, well, it is what it is. But it seems like they could have done it something different that didn't feel so like on the rails and pushy.
Sawyer, what's been your general background in your characters?
Let's see. My main character is empath, United Colonies citizen, and I don't remember what the third one was. I have a character specifically for streaming, and he's got like kids stuff, wanted, what's the one that you're basically an outlaw, and like bounty. There's always a bounty on you.
Yeah, wanted.
And, don't remember what the third. The one that gives you the adoring fan.
Oh, hero worshipped. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted something like completely different for my streaming character.
Yeah.
Is a great companion too.
I didn't realize you got him so early on in the game when like they show you that clip in the when they revealed that before the game came out. I was like, I didn't realize that was like basically right after you get off of Crete.
Yeah. First time you go to Atlantis, if you wander around, he'll come running up.
Well, yeah, because he'll generally hang out in the T Tranquility place right there, right? I think that's his spot.
I caught up with him when I just did that. I just started a new character on PC, and when I went to go join the UC and do the pilot training, I turned around from what's his name, the recruiter guy, and went to get on the elevator. And right there in the lobby of Mast, he comes running up, and I'm like, dude, I'm kind of busy right now. So now I got him, and Sarah's required to be with me, and me. And so we're all 3 palling around when I'm going to go take my pilot's test. So it was a little awkward. And he's all, talking me up. You're the greatest guy in the world.
Yeah, it's like funny whenever you leave a planet where it's like, they're going to miss you so much while you're gone. or he comments about it, like just how great of a pilot you are, or something along those lines.
I had just joined Constellation, and he's telling me that I am the best member of Constellation ever. And I'm like, I've only been for 5 minutes. Yes, but you're still the best. Okay. I like this guy.
Yeah, I took him for one of my universes. Because whenever I would go through the Unity, I would update. I've always kept the spaced trait as even though you can cure it at or change it. I've always kept it just to be like that's my thing. It's permanent damage, permanent effect. So I do better damage in space, not as good on the ground. So that's been a lot of fun. But the other 2 traits, I would cycle them out each universe just to get a little different feel from the game. And so I took him one time, had a lot of fun. And because my original traits were spaced, kid stuff, and freestar, citizen. But then on my current universe, which is my quote unquote final universe, I took Spaced, Kid Stuffed, and what's Taskmaster, where it costs extra to hire somebody for your crew, but there's like a benefit to it. I can't remember. Oh, they repair. Is it the one where
your ship quicker,
yeah,
but they don't gain infinity as quickly, or something like that.
yeah. Well, they just cost twice as much to hire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but once you're rolling in credits, it doesn't matter. And you can of course persuade them down to half of. You can persuade them down by half, which would put them back to what the original price would have been. So
The first time I played through the first 10 levels or so, money was tight. But once you learn how the systems work, money's not an issue at all, ever.
Yeah.
Well, most of my money goes into shipbuilding, so I'm always broke, it seems.
Yep.
Although doing like Ray was saying on the Fallout feed, like going through Watchtower, that it's not nearly as much of an issue.
Yeah.
See, and I haven't even started that. I bought it. It's just the quest is sitting there, but I haven't triggered it, to get it going. But the loot in there is pretty valuable.
Yeah, there's so much like contraband, whether it's mech parts or Watchtower components, wherever. Like all of that is pretty nice.
Oh,
I like the fact that they have a specific storage box for contraband inside the doctor's office. You walk up to it, you click on it, and it'll show all the contraband that's in it and all the contraband that you have, and that's it. So if you.
The weird thing is, like, you go through Watchtower, and there is a trade authority representative that will eventually take up residence at their space station.
Mm-hmm.
At least in my experience, like, you can't sell contraband to them. It's like, okay, so
not contraband, huh? You got to go
I'm
to.
still finding myself going to the den quite a bit.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe that's been updated.
So
because they are updating it quite a bit.
Here's my workaround for that. There's a mod called The Crew. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's got six different crew members. There's a doctor and a pilot and a miner and the brother, a couple others. The whole reason I got it is because there is a vendor. There's a guy on there that becomes a vendor when you hire him, and he will buy all your stolen stuff and fence it for you, and all of your contraband right there on your ship. So you assign him to your ship, and you've got a guy to sell contraband right there on your ship. That's kind of nice.
That is useful. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to downloading that mod.
Just to figure out how to use shielded cargo, because I'd have the contraband on me and I'd constantly get caught.
Yeah.
But
you can't
I actually have to store this on my ship. That makes sense.
Yeah, it can't go in your captain's locker, which you would think that's where you would hide it. But no captain's locker. You can't give it to your crew because they'll find it on them. The only place you can store it is in your ship's cargo hold.
So, like, I'm actually using some mods that disable achievements, but I would have that achievement now. But yeah, I've used mods like to make the merchants have a little bit more money, things like that. That way, I don't have to keep waiting 48 hours just for them to resupply everything. Right.
Yeah,
and
you can turn their.
Yeah, I've got the mod where as you level up your commerce skill, they have more credits. So it's not just they start off normal, but then as you rank up that skill, they just get more credits. Plus, I always go into my settings and before I do a vendor run and lower that skill or that setting to increase their vendor credits, so they'll have like 40,000 credits available.
Yeah, I also gave myself a mod that makes having one of those crazy universes a lot more likely, which I still haven't used because I'm still in my third universe.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been enjoying just going around exploring, and I do need to finish Watchtower. I still haven't done that yet. But I probably will take my chances after that. But I've just because like you go through. I've gotten to the point in the mod where Tony Stark essentially tells you to like, hey, do you want to take the fight to them now? And yeah, I'll wait, but take out some more of these Watchtower arrays.
Yeah.
And that Torin is essentially Tony Stark.
Yeah, I like Torin. I like him. Yeah.
And then Gren's Drax the Destroyer, like Dave Bautista.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So eventually I'll go, yeah, let's go do this. So.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into that one too. Because with my current character, or my main character, with him settling in this universe, I mean, the only reason I'll go through the Unity is if I have to, based on something breaking in the game and I have to reset, So I would try to replicate that universe as best I could and kind of just headcanon that I didn't go through Unity. But because I have all the artifacts. Well, no, I don't. I haven't done the final temple run to face off against the hunter and the emissary. That's where I'm at this point. Oh, that's a trip. I wonder if the emissary would be Andreja, even though Andreja's alive. Is that possible? Where the emissary can be? Because the emissary is always, in the first universe, is always the person who just died.
Right.
But
I don't know.
That's an interesting idea. That'd be a trip if Andreja comes across Andreja.
Right.
Well, because there is a universe where your character actually dies, right?
Well, yeah, there is a universe where you die, because at one point, even in just the first time you're going through the main quest, you're going through those vortexes or whatever they're called, and you come across Flawed holding you, and you get to tell him whatever you want to tell him, and then you pop out. I think that's in the very final temple fight where you're on the elevator ride, and so you pop into that little room real quick on the space station on the eye, and then you see your other version of yourself dead. But there is
one where he's still alive.
Well, yeah, and I was hoping to trigger that one. In my 6 universes, or technically 7, I only got an alternate universe once, and it was the one where I walked in the lodge and the hunter was there. And the way
I haven't gotten one yet, which is why I got this mod to make it a lot more likely.
Well, the way and to be fair, I actually triggered it because if the way you have an alternate universe is if when you land on New Atlantis, if your quest log says go to the lodge (parentheses mass district), that means it's a normal universe. If it just says go to the lodge but there's no parentheses mass district, that means it's an alternate universe. And so then as soon as you land, you can look, and if it doesn't say that, then you go ahead and reload, with one exception. The alternate universe where the version of you survived, that one still says the parentheses mass district. So if you want to be in that universe where you're with the alt version of yourself and can have yourself be a follower, you always just have to run all the way up to the lodge, because when you walk in, apparently he's just right there in front of you, already talking to Sarah, like basically beat you by a couple minutes.
All right, so now that we've killed the zealots and we've helped out the house, we've got to go back and talk to Icarus. He's the one that's trying to get into. The whole reason we're doing this is because each one of the houses has some assistance to help us get into the Citadel. Yeah. The Citadel is locked off by the vortex powers from the experiment that's been going on, right? So we want to get in there and shut the experiment down, but we can't. Each one of the houses has a piece of the puzzle to help us get into the Citadel. And we're trying to create this thing called the morning device. So we've got the first piece that we need for the morning device. And we go back and we talk with Icarus,
the sister.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so there's
Anaza.
When you get to the platform, and the two of them are standing there, and they're having kind of family philosophical discussion of science versus she's real religious and everything is from the Great Serpent and he's all science and we need to follow the path of science and do the research. And so you show up, you give him the slate, and he's like, oh, that's great. Okay. So I think it's at this point they send you to the cave, I think, to go talk to Anesco. Is that right?
Yeah, that's how it
Sounds
happened
about
for
right,
me. Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's how we get to the Anesco part. And we go in, and that's how you get to, let's see, what was it? The other side?
Yep. Yeah, it's like it's a side quest that's not really a side quest because you have to do it. So, and it's a pretty quick quest. It's the anomalous cave, and it's just outside it's on the other side of the citadel from Dajra, and as you go down through that canyon, there's a bunch of phantoms in there down in the cave or in that canyon that if you go to the right spot, you can kind of drop down in quickly and avoid some of the fighting if you want to.
Or you could stay up high and snipe them all.
Yeah.
Go down to loot their bodies. I have the Shays loot everything mod, and so I always like to run down and then I get all these space suits and all this equipment and stuff.
I
like that.
Did you guys get kind of lost in that cave system a bit? Because it's quite amazing.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, if I remember right, it did take me a minute to find my way around there.
There's multi levels where you got to drop off and then you go kind of underneath and around, and I don't know. Yeah, it can be confusing.
Yeah, I have a process I've always had ever since I played Wolfenstein 3D way back in the day, and when I come across a split, I go to the right, and I go to the right. Sometimes that means I've gone in a circle. Okay, then now I go, a different
to the
left or straight or
until the first left shows up.
So I got to the spot where Anosco is, but it was weird. I was I didn't want to walk straight in the middle because with those it looks like I couldn't quite figure it out for sure, but there's a lot of those blue glowing wall sections, which were it's like the stuff from The Expanse, and every time you touch one, it like disorients you. And I was pretty sure every time I got too close, it would spawn something. So I didn't want to get too close to them, but I didn't want to walk straight down the middle of this room and get swamped because it just looked like a kill box walking up this ramp. So I went down the side, kind of it goes down below, and then I jumped up. And I've got the quest marker right above me, and I'm like walking around and jumping, and I thought I broke the game or something. I thought it was glitched, but eventually I hit it, and you go into you go to the other side. You go to the upside down, right? And for the Stranger Things fans out there, you go to the upside down, and there's Anosco, and you actually get to finally talk to him. And it was disappointing I couldn't have Andreja with me. It's been interesting having her be a follower through most of the stuff because, like I was saying, she'll provide commentary and whatnot, or you have her as the option to let her interact with in a dialogue exchange. But in this case, you just talk to him and he confirms that he's still alive and there's other people at the Citadel, because they haven't been able to communicate with anybody inside the Citadel, correct, up to this point?
Yeah, okay. All of the scientists and everybody that was in there when the experiment went awry.
Yeah,
we don't know. Are they dead? Are they alive? Are they all now these anomalies?
Yeah,
we don't know. So we're trying our best to go rescue them. That's part of the reason we're trying to get in there.
Yep.
Stop the experiment and see if we can rescue anybody. Help save some of their community.
Yeah,
we got a big heart in this one.
Yeah. Yeah. So a pretty brief encounter with him, and then as soon as he is done talking to you, like you start getting rushed by a bunch of the phantom monster things. It spits you back out onto that rock platform, and at that point you run out of the cave. And thankfully, this
Right.
one's a little more straightforward, and it gives you the option to collapse the ceilings behind you. Did you guys do that?
Yes,
I don't think I did. No.
I did.
Yeah,
And it's not okay. So every time I did it, the phantom vortexes would show up, or phantom horrors would show up. I would have to kill them. Then it would give me the option to collapse the cave by shooting the rocks, and it would cave in. I don't know that it changed anything. I don't know that I could have just walked out without doing that, or they would have kept coming at me.
Well, in my case, as soon as I started running from that big room where you talked to Anazka, I ran past 3 or 4 of them, turned around and shot it, and it caved in. And now the problem is there's more that they'll spawn right next to you in that next room, but the ones that were chasing you are now stuck on the other side of the cave in.
Okay, I may have just been going slower. I typically very slow dungeon crawl through all of these games, so I wasn't running far enough away. I was turning and fighting before I got far enough away to collapse it.
And then, so once you get out of the cave, in my case, Andreja was just waiting for me right outside of it, and then you go and talk to Ekris and Naza, and you tell them what happened, and it's funny. Andreja made a comment like about being in the cave, and I'm like, you weren't in there. Just me. You decided to wait out there, so don't act like you were. It's almost like maybe the fellow was supposed to go in there, and maybe they recorded some dialogue, but then they had to change it.
Yeah, possibly. So I think at this point we go back to the platform, like you were saying, and we go talk to Naza, which is the girl, and the scientist guy, Ekris, and their brother and sister, I believe. So we go back and talk to them. At this point, they will send us to the second family, the second house.
Yep.
So now we're going to go help the second house and the third house.
Yep. So those 2 quests will be Conflict and Conviction and Exhuming the Past.
Yep. Yes.
So those will be our next episode.
I've done the Conflict and Conviction. I haven't done Exhuming the Past. I remember that one now. And that one is...
Don't spoil. No spoilers. Stop.
This is exactly what happens. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah.
So our next episode, we will definitely get into those 2.
Yeah.
They'll be pretty quick. They're pretty quick walkthroughs, just like this one was with the Zealous Overreach.
Yeah.
So it won't take us too long to discuss those.
Yeah. I'll probably stretch out this Shattered Space series to 5 episodes. I thought originally we were going to be able to knock it out in 4, but if we do those 2,
what do we got? We got these 2 houses,
the 2 houses, and then the finale, the Citadel. So I mean, if we talk about the Citadel mission, might kind of result in conversation not just about that particular mission, but the DLC as a whole. And so
it takes a little longer than we can do a wrap up episode.
Yeah, sounds good.
I'll just have to edit.
Now, I didn't realize this until Jess mentioned it on the followed feed, but you can actually have Sahima as a follower if she likes you enough after this. I didn't take her, but yeah, I didn't even realize that was the thing. But apparently, Jess was running around there for a while.
That's the scientist chick you rescue, right?
Yeah. So
I downloaded
it's kind of cool.
The what's Robin Locke, the Flag Girl.
Yeah, I don't have that one, but I
really like her as
pretty good. I do have a mod called The Veil, and Emily Archer, I think is what her name is. I've got her actually piloting one of my ships with Watchtower.
Yeah,
and there's a follow-up mod to that too called Beyond the Veil, which I'd still need to do. But
I've done that one. Yeah, that one's pretty good. You don't have to do the first one, but it kind of helps. It gives you it rounds out the UC Xenomorph quest line a little bit. It's those are good mods. I would recommend both of those.
Yeah,
really.
I definitely enjoyed the Veil. So
what happened and why this dude's in prison and the other guy's dead, and right.
Oh, yep. Sahima,
I
crew
want to say there's
member.
another companion that you can have with Shattered Space. I don't remember who it is, but yeah, I guess Sahima is one of them.
Oh, I am definitely going to have her on my crew.
Oh,
What
yeah?
does she do?
She her skills are EM weapon systems, sniper certification, which okay, but anotronic fusion that gives you +1 to your reactor. So
Oh,
her
nice.
and Andromeda now. So she's going to be on my crew.
I don't think they stack.
What?
You can have one or the other.
I'll have to test
No,
it.
did I not?
I'll test it.
You can test it out.
I'll
I
report
don't think
back.
they'll stack.
Well,
you
if
could get-
they don't stack, then I'll probably go with Sahima anyways, just because from an RP standpoint. Let's
Yeah.
see.
Well, if you max out your own skill in that, what did you call it? I can't pronounce that word.
Well, a neutronic fusion. It's like the word neutron with starting with an A. Neutronic, but a neutronic.
If you
And-
max that one out, by the end you get by the
5.
fourth tier, you get an
Yeah.
additional 5.
Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, and 5 as you rank it up.
So that's a pretty
Nice.
good deal.
Yeah, it's useful, very useful having that because like a lot of my ships, I have my shields and my engines maxed out. I have my primary weapon maxed out. I put 1 point into missiles, and then so my primary weapons usually like the obliterators or guns.
Devastated.
And then my number 2 weapon is always my suppressors. So I'll usually have 3 or 4 points in suppressors because that's the one with whatever's left over, I put that in there. And the missiles, I don't use missiles a lot in combat, but I put 1 point in there, and then that way, if I'm in a situation where I just need a lob off, just dump them all out there, and then turn my attention to another ship,
Now, and the space battles in Watchtower can get pretty crazy. So
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, building the fleet.
it's, make sure you take out quite a few minor arrays before you try the major ones.
Are they all in the same vicinity, like in the same
Nope,
system?
No, they're everywhere.
They're scattered all over. I still haven't figured out how to navigate that because the one bartender girl that's there in the watchtower, she gives you kind of the information that says you can go after the major array over here,
Yeah,
or here's a list of all these other ones.
yeah.
But
She'll point you to minor arrays.
It's important to go to them, and it's important to capture there's at least one ship in every battle and salvage it, because that's how you get the modules that you're going to get through this mod that's going to give you the new modules to build ships with.
The sky drops. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to make sure that you salvage some of the watchtower ships so
Which,
that
you definitely need those to take out the mechs.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Now, every time you do a minor array, does it
That
weaken the
whittles down
major
the
ones?
fleet for the major ones. Yeah.
They feed
Okay.
information.
Okay.
So the game loop is you go find a minor array, you land on the planet, you destroy the power feed to the array, then you go up to the array, and they've transferred all the information that was on the planet. The safeguard that the watchtower has is if their computers start getting messed with, they transfer all the information away to the array.
Okay.
So you got to go down to the planet, kill everybody down there, find the computer. It sends the information to the array. Then you get in your ship, you go to the array. Once you get out there, Watchtower is alerted. They send defenders in to defend the array, kill the defenders, salvage one of the ships, and then take the information off the array. And that's the loop for the minor arrays.
Okay.
And you can do over and over and over and over.
You do that a lot.
Once you finish the Watchtower quest and you beat the Watchtower,
I think there is a 5% chance that you're going to run into them in other.
So they're just kind of scattered at that point.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because
I haven't actually finished it, but
Yeah, because I like the idea of being able to fight them occasionally afterwards, but as long as their spawn rate, gets down.
Yeah, and you could set your armada to not fight with you when you're fighting spacers or ecliptic or pirates. Only when you run into watchtower ships will your armada come in and help you. So if they're too powerful, you don't have to completely leave them at home. You can just tell them, "Hey, I'll handle it," right?
Gotcha. Okay.
But when you're fighting the watchtower ships, they tend to gang up on you, and you'll have 4, 5, 6 of them come in at once with drones.
It gets really intense.
So sometimes you really need some help.
So then your guys would just, if you have it for that setting, your fleet would automatically join you at that point.
Yeah, I think I've got 4 or 5 ships in my fleet right now, and there are people like you can just hire like NPCs at the spaceport to pilot your ships if you don't have enough companions.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I went and got the crew. It gives you 6 more companions, and that's what I use them for. I keep the one guy on my ship to sell all of my stuff to, and then I put the sister. Jax, I'm sorry about that, guys. I put the sister pilot and the brother in one ship, and then I keep the doctor on mine. I put the botanist on another ship, and so spread them all out again among my ships.
Now, when you assign, can you have multiple companions on one ship? Like, Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
And then does it?
All this gets upgraded through like watchtower cores that you gift at Gren.
Yeah, because
kind of a cool thing is, if you have 3 or 4 or 5 ships in your armada and you're flying around in outer space, you could turn around and you can lock onto one of your own ships and board it. And at that point, you can go talk to the crew over there.
Okay.
And I think at that point you can also like take crew off of that ship and put a different pilot onto that ship, right?
Yeah, so there's a terminal with Grin, and also you can install a terminal in your ship to control all that.
Yeah, because like then, if somebody has, say, the piloting skill, like how do you control who the actual pilot is, or does it not matter?
There's a terminal, that you can move people around and things like that.
Because I mean, I would just logically, any of my companions that are have a piloting skill, they would be, I would make them the pilots of the other ships. I think isn't Sarah? She's a pilot too, right? I think.
Mm-hmm. Look, I'm not sure.
Yeah, so that's going to be another level of shipbuilding. I love building ships for myself to fly, but now I'm going to be building ships with these characters in mind, building one that would make sense for them. That'll be a lot of fun.
Now, I will say that when you start doing sky drops, do not have the sky drop on the ship that you're piloting. I didn't realize that at first, but that you can't use it then. Because the sky drop has to be from orbit, and if you're on the planet's surface, you can't do anything.
Right.
And Gren straight up tells you that, and I completely missed it the first.
Oh, you installed the sky drop module on your ship, but then you land, and that makes sense. So it's like you'd have to. Oh, that'll be fun though. Because then you can build like a ship that is intended to be like the aerial bombardment ship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that'll be really cool. I'm assuming all those modules attached to the bottom of your ship,
or you can bottom or top either way.
Oh, you can put them on top too. Okay.
And there's so many different kinds too. Like there's missiles, there's EMPs, there's gas that you can drop, robots that'll provide things.
Yeah.
So they look like a plate sitting on your ship. It's like 1 wide and 2 long. Okay. And so you have either a plate facing forward or facing backward. You have it either opened or closed, facing forward or backward, or on the bottom, opened or closed, facing forward or backward.
Okay. And those are just different skins of sorts, like based on what you want. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, what you do is you program a flare or whatever, and then you throw the flare grenade to where you want the sky drop to go. So if you're fighting a mech or whatever, you got to be you got to make sure you throw it where you want the missile to go to take the EMP or whatever to take the mech out. And there you can have different levels of difficulty when it comes to these arrays. So like the harder they are, you may be fighting like 2 or 3 different mechs along with all the other watchtower crew on the ground.
Oh man.
Is it that one? There's one that you show up and they start having animals that they've tamed and are there.
Wow.
I think I might be thinking of something else. But I think that's right. I think there's 1 or 2 arrays where you show up and they end up getting pets with them. I may have a mod loaded that's doing that for me though too. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't fought any pets yet. It's usually just either people or mechs.
Yeah, I look forward to getting into that mod.
Yeah, so the reason that we decided to do Shattered Space now instead of continuing along with the factions was we wanted to get through Shattered Space before the next DLC comes out.
Mm-hmm.
That way we can jump right into that and and say, okay, because then we can be relevant again. Right now we're just kind of going, okay, the game's been out for 2 years. All this stuff's been out for 2 years. If you guys are interested in the game, come watch us. We're not doing anything new here.
Well, yeah, because I had the theory that if the next DLC is the final one, or not, I definitely think some of the deeper story that they haven't fully revealed to us definitely factors the Varun and the Great Serpent, and so I was thinking there might be some connective storylines between Shattered Space DLC and the next DLC. Although it's called what? Terran Armada, I think.
That's the rumor, yeah. Terra Armada.
So I don't know.
We'll
I don't know how much connective tissue between Shattered Space and that one will be, but that was kind of the logic for it. So I wanted to get through Shattered Space.
I was really hoping at some point we would be able to like somehow go back in time and experience the Colony War or the Freestar War or one of those. But didn't really seem to be a time travel mechanic yet.
Well, they could do an Operation Anchorage style quest. Remember that one?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, to have it just be a simulator with have it be not just one simulator, but have it be there's a simulator for ground combat where you're a soldier navigating through firefights that way. Another simulator that's a space combat, pilot simulator, and then of course a mech simulator. They could easily pull that off.
I am glad that they did show, tell us more about House Varun, because I always loved House Varun before the DLC, because like they were always some of my favorite ships to commandeer, because like I loved the House Varun style with everything even before the Shattered Space DLC came out.
Yeah, it is a little disappointing that there's not more unique. So when you land, they have a lot of unique furniture, but they also have a lot of the classic stuff, like which makes sense because they were originally just a fleet of ships that settled onto that planet. But I would like to think that their ship modules would be different. Like a sixth manufacturer, right? So they have their own engines and habs and cockpit, everything.
There is a creation that I got that has like House Varun ship habs. It's really nice.
Oh, no kidding.
It's by who was that famous mod author that did a bunch of stuff in Fallout 4 and Skyrim? She was really famous for doing like
Eleonora.
What's that? Eleonora. Isn't she the one?
I don't think this was her. But
no.
I'll have to look, but I don't think that was her. She did Crimson Fleet ones.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. You're right. Yes. Okay, the Crimson Fleet ones. That's what I'm thinking of.
But it's funny. One of the things that I think in the captain's quarters, there's actually a shrine to the Great Serpent, and I'm just walking around my ship and just seeing like random companions like worshiping at you'll see Sam or someone who's not Androsia. And it's like, oh, okay, I didn't know you were a great serpent follower as well.
Yeah, I'm looking at that mod now. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have a unique exterior as well, or do they just use the exterior from one of the other?
I don't think it's anything exterior. It's just
all the internals.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can get another mod that's got stickers, and you can put the Varun Circle or the Crimson Fleet skull, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
You can designate your ship that way. Paint it a certain color and then put the Varun, we came up with the name for that where it's the snake eating itself.
Ouroboros.
Ouroboros, that's it. So then you could put the Ouroboros on there on the side of your ship and really designate what you are and what you're doing.
Yeah, you had brought that up because we were having that discussion of like, where did the origin of the multiverse travel start? Like, because somebody came back in time and was sharing information on how to go through the universes to your universe. So did that person? Chicken or egg situation, exactly. The one thing I do wish they had done was have your when you go through the Unity, have your dead body be somewhere. Because the lore is that that in most universes the lore is your character dies somewhere between the events of the cave at the very, very beginning and arriving at New Atlantis to deliver the artifact. Somewhere in there, your character dies. And I think I figured it out that it usually has to happen on Crete, because Vasco knows who you are, and he only just met you on Vectera. So when you arrive at the lodge in an alternate universe, he's like, "Yep, scan checks out." I give him a thumbs up. So he had to have already experienced you. You've got the artifact already on your ship. So I think the only way that makes logical sense is if if that version of you died in that Crete base. And so what they should have done is when you go through the Unity, it should be like, hey, go collect the artifact, and it's on Crete. You land on Crete, you find your dead body there, get the artifact, and then go to New Atlantis to turn it in. But I think they probably just wanted to speed things up a little bit.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm hoping that eventually, once I leave this universe, that I'll be able to experience one of these crazy universes.
Yeah. Well, make sure just to do a hard save in the Unity, and then just reload it until you see it pop up saying, go to the lodge, but without it saying parentheses Mass District. And then that's how you make sure you get one. I think they're all pretty much the same, though, in a way. Like, they're different, but they're the same. Like in one case, there's the hunter there. One case, it's Korra. But I think in all instances, the constellation does not exist. You have to go.
Yeah, there is one where everybody's dead, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think that's kind of how they all are. I think if
there's one where I think they're plant people.
Oh yeah, I heard about that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of our podcasts a while back, we were talking like Starfield. As much as I love the game, like I almost think that if it came out probably another 3 or 4 years down the line, when you're dealing with the multiverse, imagine with the advances in AI we're seeing now. Imagine AI being able to control the game for players and actually have a true multiverse. So like you have like a through line main quest that the AI doesn't touch, but they can have tons of fun in the surrounding universe. Very rudimentary approach would be like, okay, if you're going to go do the failure to communicate quest with Lopez and the farmers taking out the pirates, all of the NPCs could just be different. Like Lopez is now in this universe, Lopez is a black guy instead of Hispanic, right? And then or you can gender swap characters So that way it would truly feel like you're in a different universe, which I would make the case that that's what would make it feel like a different universe if all the side quests and the shop vendors were all gender and race swapped, and in some cases just name it's a different person, you know. And then you just expand that out, like the shops have different names, maybe. I mean, I wouldn't want to, purely from a mechanical standpoint, you wouldn't want to change too much, but at least just have it look different, you know.
Or like maybe the Crimson Fleet are actually like a police force or something like that, as opposed to like pirates.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Yeah, like the SysDef or the UC security office right there in New Atlantis is Crimson Fleet, and you walk in there and Delgado's there. He's like, "Hey, you want to help me catch some pirates?" Yeah, stuff like that. All right, well, folks, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Starfield Report podcast. So next episode, we're going to get into conflict and resolution and the other quest. Oh, exhuming the past. So look forward to that. And Soliar, thank you so much for joining us. It's always fun to talk Starfield with you.
Yeah, it's been great. Thanks for having me. Anytime you guys want me on, just let me know. Yeah,
I'll let you know. Of course, with the baby coming, our recording, hopefully by this time next week, baby will have arrived. So I imagine probably it won't be till mid to late October before the next recording, but I'll be sure to let you know.
Yeah, so sounds good.
All right, and any last words, Jax?
Well, it's been awesome having you on. We sure appreciate you coming over and joining us this morning. And as always, captains, drive fast and take lots of chances.
All right, we will see you in the Starfield.
Now that was some fine work under pressure.
Get out of here, Dusty. You're on to bigger things.